everybody, and welcome to a ball-busting wild ride with Steve-O. Danger Ehren. His balls have been through it all, and somehow he lived to tell us about it. Plus, there's quite a bit of ball-busting going on with regards to the new Jackass cast members. I'm just going to throw it out there, but this is a wild ride indeed. And I love Danger Ehren. I mean, he's my bro for life. And I want to live for a long, long time, and that's why I quit smoking. And I'm happy to tell you that this episode is brought to you by Fume, makers of the best products for quitting smoking. Cigarettes, vape, all of it. It's a one-stop shop at breathefum.com/Steve-O. That's breathefum.com/Steve-O. And what can I say about quitting smoking? I couldn't be more happy. It's my favorite thing I ever did was quit smoking. It makes people look at you like you're a loser, whether you're vaping or not. And the secret to quitting is to make sure that you're keeping yourself busy doing something, because that's a lot of what smoking is. It's just like fidgety, like I just need to be doing something. And the people at Fume know that well. So they make these inhalers that don't have any smoke, no vape, no nicotine, just purely natural ingredients with oils that are proven to help reduce cravings, and you can mess with it all day long. So when it occurs to you, oh, I gotta be doing something, that's how you quit, man. This company has thousands of reviews from smokers who have tried everything and nothing worked for them until they tried Fume. So, thousands of 5-star reviews can't be wrong. And if it's bothering you that you're kind of being looked at like a loser while you're killing yourself with tobacco and vaping, just stop it, man. It's time to quit. So go to breathefum.com/Steve-O, and you're going to get 10% off your whole order. Couldn't be a better time to do it. Couldn't be a better deal for it. So breathefum.com/Steve-O. Good luck, and let's get into it. All right.
Was that a fly?
Okay.
I joked. Come on.
Okay.
All right. Oh,
Check. Wild Ride, episode number.
what are we up to, like 116?
Do you remember what he was the last one?
I don't.
100, I think.
No.
No, it's 50.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Danger Ehren,
Hello, everybody.
the return. So we've got you
Yep.
on tour.
Yep, we're here in, where are we? We're
Wheeling, West Virginia.
West Virginia. Yep.
And last night was your first time performing comedy on stage in 2 years.
Yeah, I haven't done a stand-up show or anything live performance, I don't think, in about 2 years. Yeah.
Right. And you prepared all new material.
Some new, mostly all new material. It's based on, a lot of the stuff from Jackass Forever. I brought some props with me, and
Crazy. Yeah, it was awesome.
The people really loved it. It was awesome.
And you so professionally set your timer to 12 minutes, which
12
was
minutes.
what your plan was, to perform for 12 minutes.
Yep, well, that's what I was asked to do, and that's what I'll do.
And you went out there and it seemed that every joke you wrote, everywhere you were looking for a laugh, you got a laugh.
I think so.
And the crowd loved you. They ate it up.
Yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I got to say, I have so much fun being on tour and bringing in my Jackass buddies kind of one at a time to just hang out, do podcasts, like film content, like do shows. And I think that the way you prepared your material, the way you executed it so professionally, I think that as Jackass openers go, you might have slipped right into fucking El Numero Uno.
Uh-oh. Oh. Looks like the boys need to come back.
I think
Step it up.
I think Jackass might have the best actual joke. Just the one joke where he says, so I got into therapy and I was looking at these apps and, I found one called BetterHelp, and I thought, well, shit, this BetterHelp or I'm going to fucking kill myself.
Oh, Jesus.
Such a fucking good joke.
Oh, man. He's doing great.
I
like
mean,
it.
he's really given it a
So how is it out here for you? How's it been? Like, what's going on? I mean, I just got here yesterday. I'm here for 6 shows, 5 days, whatever.
Yeah,
doing.
I mean, dude,
But you're out here grinding.
we go pretty hard, but we only go for spurts. You know, we'll be out for like 10 days, and then we go home, and then we go out for 10 days, and then we go home. So, like, it's not like we're on tour for months or anything like that. But with that said, man, like, we're getting after it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how the show constantly evolves and improves. Like,
I saw it like 3 months ago in Portland, I think it was. And you've definitely added a lot of material, like the intro and stuff. That was awesome.
Yeah, dude, the opening sequence, man. I'd love to get a final tally on what we spent on the opening sequence for the bucket list, because it was expensive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, helicopters and just fucking.
Well, we still have another shoot coming up on the 20th.
Yeah, we have
which is gonna be
another
epic.
helicopter shoot coming up for
What?
the opening
Yeah,
sequence.
it's gonna be epic, dude.
Damn. Sounds
Yeah.
gnarly. We don't even use helicopters in Jackass. I don't think we've used the fake little ones.
The
But I don't
drones,
think
yeah.
we've ever used a helicopter, have we?
I remember, dude, we used to use helicopters in Wild Boys all the time. But now, speaking of Jackass,
Yeah.
you're hands down the MVP of Jackass Forever. I don't think there's any debating that.
Well, thanks. I
Like,
mean,
that anybody who's seen that movie is like, oh my God, Danger Ehren and the
Yeah.
cup test and what you did to his balls.
yeah.
David?
Well, when we went into filming, I told the guys, I said, hey, I can't break my neck again because I've done that 3 times. And so I was thinking about other ways to, use my body. And since when COVID happened, we could no longer do man on the street stuff. I had tons of rad stuff written for like pranks and man on the streets, and all those just went away instantly when COVID hit. So we just focused on ourselves, destroying ourselves. Like, and so I'm like, I'm not gonna break my neck. And actually, about 3 weeks. Oh yeah, good call. Crack a little liquid death, refreshing. Sticks, hey Sticks, how you doing out there, Sticks? One of my homies. And so we just focused on like destroying ourselves, and I'm like, I can't destroy my neck or my knees. I've had 11 knee surgeries. So
I'll
at the
never
time,
forget.
I was like, well, I was thinking, I guess we'll just focus on my dick, and come to find out, so like 3 weeks before Francis Ngannou punched me in the balls in the
Which
cup,
was test number 1.
Which was test number 1. I had already found out that I was Lindsay and I were pregnant. We were having a
Right,
child.
and you kept that a secret.
I kept that a secret the whole time we were filming, because if everyone knows I'm gonna have a baby already and I'm already sending it hard on my dick, they're gonna just be like, well, let's just rip it off.
Right,
Because you've
well-
already used it in a sense, But
I don't think
I couldn't have done any gnarlier though.
I don't think that would have changed the outcome. I don't think that sensitivity to your ability to procreate was really in the equation. But dude, I remember showing up to the set probably the first week after we got back from COVID, if not like the first day.
Yeah.
And I'm a humongous fan of UFC, and they're like, dude, Francis Ngannou, the fucking UFC heavyweight. At the time, he was the #1 contender. Now, of course, he's the champion. He's gonna punch Danger Ehren in the balls for the cup test. And I, as soon as I heard that, I said, please let me have this bit. Please let Francis Ngannou punch me in the balls. Oh my God, what an honor! That would be so rad. And they said no.
You want it too much.
right. That dude. Whenever you want something, you never get it.
I hate ice cream. Let's give him ice cream. I love bee stings. We don't need to sting him with any bees.
Yeah, exactly. But
okay, let me ask you a question then.
They said that you had your neck issue.
Yeah.
They said you had your neck issue. They said Knoxville had just had a hernia surgery.
Yeah, he
or
wasn't
something,
doing
so
it.
he couldn't get hit like that in the nether regions. And they just shut me down. They're like, no. And then as I came to learn that it was Francis Ngannou, and then it was with the bowling.
Okay,
and
so
the
let me
fucking
ask you
softball, and
then.
I'm so glad I didn't fucking.
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask. Okay, so my question to you is, okay, the Francis Ngannou bit happens. Would you have wished you did that if it had led into all the other things I did?
No. I'm so, like I said,
Dude.
I'm so glad I did not fucking do that.
Oh my God.
Well, can I ask a question? How many times did they attempt each bit?
So Francis' punch was 3 times. The first time I flinched a little. Second time I think he just held back and punched me kind of in the stomach. And on the third one was the nail. But like the softball test was I think 14 times. And my legs
Yeah.
I
And
still have
they used a lot of that. Like there's so many times when things are shot over and over and over and over and over, and they only use one time, and
Yeah.
that's like such the heartbreaking.
I know it's like when I did
about the hockey?
The hockey. Okay,
hockey,
so
I think they used just about everything.
the hockey was so I went from Francis to the softball 14 times, blasted me, looked like a
Yeah.
cheetah print, and then immediately after that, an hour later. Because I told Jeff, I'm
Pogo
like,
stick and softball were the same day.
yeah,
right?
and I was in so much pain, so gnarly.
like,
I'm like,
let's
I
just
don't want to
get it
sleep
done.
on it and do it tomorrow. Let's just do it now. And they were like, Are you serious? I'm like, Yeah, get Dave. Let's use that pogo stick. Let's go right over there and have him just jump on my dick. And
I know.
and
Yeah, Dave
we
and
did
I
that
were-
twice. The first
Yeah.
time. He missed, like it had the cup not been as big as it was. I mean, it was soft though, but it was
Yeah.
much bigger, like surface area. Had he not hit the cup and it went into my skin, I think it possibly could have went through my body. Because if you think about the energy of a pogo stick, it springs off of whatever it lands on. So it would have just compressed right through my skin, right through my body.
So are you sitting there with one ball right now, or did you?
No, when he did land it on the cup, right on my nut, it was on the right testicle, and it exploded the right testicle. So then it was bleeding, and I had to rush to the hospital. And then when I was there, I went and saw a specialist like later on, like 2 or 3 days later, and then I had to do follow-up visits like every month for about 4 months just to have him checked to make sure that the testicle itself was healed, because if blood gets into the testicle, it kills all the sperm. But I was already having a kid, so Cedar, little
Right.
Cedar Moon.
So you're done having kids, I'm guessing at this
Nah,
point.
I'm cool. I'm sure I could have more. Dave only has one nut. Dave
Yeah.
has 4 kids.
Did they test your sperm count after all that when you're going to the doctor for all that?
No testing of sperm counts. I'm just, fingers crossed. I don't want to know.
Yeah. So I remember while we were filming Jackass Forever, and you were just getting all of this insane footage left and right, and I'm thinking, oh my God, dude, like, danger's kind of gone under the radar, like, in life, and now, like, you're going to be, like, so much more recognizable in the
Yeah.
streets. Has that happened?
It has. I mean, it's kind of always been there, and like even with like the terror taxi, this terror taxi bit, like those kinds of things, people always know kind of who I am and whatever. But I don't do a lot of things like putting me out into the public a lot.
Sure.
Like
I think
I'm
that-
home and doing my thing and working on my life and touring with bands, shooting photos. And when I'm out, people are like, especially now, people are like, "Fuck, we love you, dude," and
Yeah.
it's really cool.
For
it's
sure.
cool. I think there's obviously strike while the iron's hot opportunity when we put out a new film or
Right.
new movie or something. But I have a 1-year-old, and I'm way more stoked on what I'm doing right now than anything. I don't regret or wish I was doing anything else. I'm raising a rad little baby, and we have a nice little family, and I'll get back to it someday.
You're married.
Not married,
Not
but
married.
I mean, with COVID and stuff, like if we were gonna get married during COVID, it would have been just kind of lame, like no
Yeah.
party, and like, so we're just waiting, just kind of. She's going through nursing school at OHSU, and she's done with that in like 9 months.
How's your relationship? Ooh, how is your relationship? Let me tell you, my relationship is going very well in the bedroom for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that my girl and I sleep on a mattress from helixsleep.com. Why are we so happy with it? Because when you go to helixsleep.com/Stevo, you take a very simple 2-minute quiz to find your perfect mattress for you and your partner. And I'm telling you, best deal overall, best mattress overall, best fit for you, and I'm willing to bet a lot of you guys' mattresses are pretty disgusting at this point, and it's time to get a freshie. So, dude, go to helixsleep.com/Stevo, and you'll get up to $200 off of any mattress you choose. And when you do so, they're going to throw in 2 free pillows. I mean, dude, let's tighten up the bedroom. It's going to help your relationship whether or not you're in one. So go to helixsleep.com to get matched with the perfect mattress for you. You get up to $200 off of any mattress of your choosing, and they throw in 2 free pillows. That's because they love the listeners of the Wild Ride podcast, maybe more than listeners of any podcast. So support the podcast and help your relationship, help your sleep. Go to helixsleep.com/Stevo to get matched with the perfect mattress for you and get a killer deal up to $200 off any mattress and 2 free pillows. There it is. It's waiting for you at helixsleep.com/Stevo. Now let's talk about dangerous relationship.
It's great, but it's very up and down. Like, I swear to God, like, I know a lot of people that have gotten divorced or broken up during COVID.
Sure.
Like, people have their own lives and separate, you know, they need to separate a bit. But with COVID, everyone's in the house all day long, 24/7.
Right.
And what would normally be like a 2-year relationship, I think is more of like a 5-year experience with that person. And it's made it a lot, you know, very intense. And
COVID put relationships to the test.
To the test.
And
sure.
I was stoked that I felt pretty strongly that my relationship with Lux just got better.
And that happens too, because then you realize how much you really like being with this person. And even if you don't like being with this necessarily person all the time, it's the trust and love that you have, and then that bond and that bubble that you're in becomes like just so safe and makes you feel good, you know?
Yeah, I don't remember any like problem from COVID. Crazy.
Well, you're
Besides COVID.
Yeah, you're in a minority there, my friend, because I can tell you, like, most people, they say to me, like, oh my God, I had no idea they were like this and we're together all the time. And
Right.
Yeah, but Lux is cool with you, like, camping for a week, or, you know what I mean?
You're on the road all the time, dude. So
Dude, it worked out so great because I got the van for podcasting. You know, the red van. I got that like right before COVID hit.
Yeah, so you were just
and
cruising.
So when COVID hit, I was sheltering in place, like on the fucking
in Malibu,
countryside,
on the beach
like,
in Malibu.
fucking, you know, everywhere. I was sheltering in place, fucking all over. Yeah, man. So we talked about it when you were on the podcast the first time, which, by the way, I think was just an epic episode.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the RV now, which is quite a bit bigger.
little bit
It expands out. There's some more room. It's nice.
Yeah, the piece of shit RV masquerading as a tour bus.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how I really feel that you're like, you know, of the Jackass guys, like arguably the most well-adjusted, like the most like real world, like, you know, you don't really identify as like a celebrity guy. Your livelihood comes from real estate. You've taken all of your money and like wisely invested it in properties, and you manage all these properties and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's like any like entertainer, athlete, or anything where you make some money, and people know who you are, and when you know it's awesome. But eventually, nothing lasts forever, and you really got to just take that opportunity to do the best you can with it for your future, because life is long, even though it's short.
Dude,
you know?
life is fucking long, dude.
Yeah, it's like, I rule right now, but 2 or 3 years from now, and you're not ruling, and no one's paying you anything. What do you have left? And you just got to be thinking about, like, you know, goals in life, or where you want to be 5-10 years from now, and actually visualize it. Like, don't just stumble around and be like, whatever happens to me. No, make things happen. Like, you got to work hard too. Like, you work your ass off, but you're doing it because you enjoy doing this. And,
I mean, I love it, and I think you just shared the best life advice. You know, you have to have a goal if you're going to accomplish a goal.
Yeah.
If you don't set a goal for yourself, then you're never going to do anything.
Yeah, and goals do change, and you can allow your goals to change, and don't say that you didn't succeed because you didn't reach the goal that you had. Just be realistic. Like, you know, somebody could say, I want to blah, I want a Ferrari, and then you get a Toyota. But your goal then is now you've got a Toyota, and you should be happy with that.
Lux's nephew, who I like to call my nephew, is now living with us, taking care of all of our animals at the house, even when we are home. So there's just always a
caretaker.
Yeah, a caretaker, and it's great because we love having him around. And I told this kid, he's 19. I said, man, we're gonna pay you every day to take care of our animals, whether we're home or not. I just don't want to have to worry about about anything. And I was like, I'm gonna give you my car, so you got a free car. You take care of the animals is like a half hour of work a day. You know, an hour maybe on an aberrational day. So you've got your whole fucking day wide open to pursue your goals, and we want to help open up the world to you. So my advice, I told him, I said, figure out your highest goal, your most crazy ambition, what you would love more than anything in life, in a dream world, the best it could turn out. And once you've identified that as something you want to work towards, then kind of walk it back and figure out what's a good entry-level job that you can realistically get, which puts you the closest to that ultimate dream goal. It lands you kind of at the periphery of that world. Get on the bottom rung of the ladder that leads up to that fucking dream position that you want, and start fucking getting after it. And if we can help you get on that bottom rung, we want to,
Yeah.
And we got this kid. The kid's just so stoked, and he's such a rad kid too.
That's the reality of life, though. That it being long is that. Yeah. I mean, I suffer from this as well. Like, I want to learn. I want to know how to do it now. Like, a lot of times, I want to be able. I want to be the best now. But it takes like years to be good at something, let alone the best at something.
Yeah. Well, if you're planting seeds, you can't expect it to be fruitful.
But people
tomorrow.
do. And especially now today in society where like you can strike it rich as a YouTuber or something, and it's like, and then all these other people are like, I want to do that too, and it's like, well, that's like, some sort of panning for gold, and you got gold, and the dudes who got the gold isn't any better than the person who happened to find the gold down.
I don't know, dude. I think that YouTube, the whole like digital influencer space, like that, it's so democratic.
If you're cool, you're cool, and if you're not,
every piece of content you put out is essentially like a fucking vote for like how well received it is. It's the analytics are just so fucking accurate and democratic that like I really think you got to give credit to people who succeed with YouTube, because they're getting something right, and there's no succeeding on YouTube unless you are tirelessly fucking motivated and work your ass off.
But that's the thing is like people see those people doing these things, think it's so easy, and it's not. It's
now there's like Twitch, there's OnlyFans, there's people fucking putting their feet on websites, crushing it like six figures. There's a lot of opportunity out there,
Right.
But what I like about you is that you got more specific with your goals in the last like 3 months. Is like, you want to open an animal sanctuary, but now you want to employ hundreds of people rescuing thousands of animals. And I think as like you get more specific,
how do you start that?
But my ultimate goal is to employ hundreds of people to take care of thousands of animals, and my first like legit employee whose only job is to take care of animals is this nephew.
There you go. There you go. So you're starting. So you're starting at the bottom there too. Then that's your first step to what you have goals and dreams to do.
You have one employee and you've rescued 6 animals.
Oh my God, dude, we technically have 10 animals at the house. Even though during the show I say we have 3 cats, 3 dogs, 3 goats, and 4 pissed off neighbors.
Wait, you have those? You have goats in your house in Hollywood? There,
not inside the house. We have we built. We built a little barn in the back.
Where is there even room for a little barn in the back?
We predator-proofed the fuck out of our backyard because we don't want like predators climbing.
Oh yeah, you live in the hills there, and those I was there that one day.
And when my cat got killed.
Eaten by a coyote.
Right, Jesus. I know. So what we did to prevent predators from digging underneath the fence, we built a fucking 1.5-foot concrete wall underground around the entire fucking perimeter of the backyard. And then we built up the fences with crazy spikes, so nothing's coming over either.
Yep. You got goals. You got goals, dude.
Predator proofed the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And we built a barn, so we put the goats up in the barn at night, and they just hang out in the backyard during the day.
Are the neighbors really like they're bummed?
The goats go bah, bah, like
all night,
kind of. But it's a cute sound. It's
cute.
Yeah.
It's a cute sound. It's not too gnarly. What's gnarly is the dogs. Particularly one dog just rap, rap, rap.
All night.
He gets stuck outside and he can't move, and he's like, just like staring off into the moon.
On a fucking loop, endlessly, incessantly.
Oh, wow.
And there's this one neighbor in particular that like is and the nicest guy, nicest couple, but they're just like, for the love of God, please, And then, dude, and then I realized long after the fact that this guy, I didn't recognize him because his fucking beard like grown out so big, he's hands down my favorite circus performer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's in the circus?
I don't want to give away his identity, but
you live next to it.
If you ask me the last 20 plus years, if I have one person in mind who's the most talented circus performer period, I would say this guy.
Wow.
And then it turns out
you didn't know that he was your neighbor this whole time?
I had no idea he's my neighbor, and he's the one guy who's most terrorized by our fucking animals.
Oh God, he hates you.
He
probably loves you.
He's down for me. He said himself, he's like, dude, I get it. You love animals. You care about animals. It's just like, fuck.
It's crazy. You have a favorite circus performer.
Like, dude, 100%. Dude, Isaac, who's my guy on tour. He helps on tour. I gave him the whole fucking walked him through.
Don't give it away because
the best footage of this guy. He's like, dude, his fucking head exploded, dude.
Yeah.
That's all he could think about. He's like, oh my God.
Wow.
I love it, dude. Yeah, I go crazy for that shit. Now,
I got Bugsy.
Yeah,
he's
a well-behaved dog.
Yeah,
dude, he just finds his way like right in your arm.
Yeah, he sleeps in my arm, all under my arms.
Cutest shit I've ever seen.
He goes everywhere with me, all over the world.
Yeah,
Danger
dude.
Bugsy.
So how many real estate properties are you said 9?
No, I just acquired 2 more in the last 3 months, so I've 7. 7. Sold 1, bought 2.
And most of these are on mortgage.
Yeah, a couple are paid off.
Okay.
But most of them are on mortgage, especially the last 3 years. Even if they weren't on mortgage, I went and got loans for them because money was so cheap, 2.5% or 3% rates.
Right.
So everything's locked down, 30-year fixed. We'll see what happens. The market's probably like it did in 2008, go down. But if you're not selling, then what's it worth? It's not worth any less than it was before.
Right.
So you just hold on, long term, long game is 30-year plan. I've got a plan for each and every single one of them, like how to sell them, when to sell them. Depending on how I'm doing in this business and whatnot. Like when you're crushing it in Hollywood and you're making money, you don't want to sell your real estate because then you have to pay more in taxes than you already do. So
generally, the rule with real estate is just never sell.
Yeah,
right?
Ultimately, put it in a trust, give it to the family, peace.
What was your situation in 2008 when?
In 2008, I had 5 properties.
Damn, and that was what you did with your money from
Jackass 1 and 2.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's great.
When did 3 come out?
3
no, that was
came
10.
Out in 2010.
So so from 1 and 2, I had 5 properties. You can buy one and you can leverage off of that if you have good credit and whatever else. And but then the market tanked and everyone was like freaking out. Like people were like offing themselves and it was a very stressful time. But
Scott fucking got his ass kicked.
You sold?
I pulled out the down payment on a credit card and then bought it in 2006, and then a week later it dropped like 60 grand. I just let it go after 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point...
Dude, Scott, for the first how many years we worked together, was like battling his way out of debt.
3 or 4 years.
But so many people were. I mean, that's the thing is like, if it happens again, there's going to be another so many people. And
but it's going to be gnarlier.
I don't think it'll be gnarlier. I think it's it's going to be different. I think everything affects everything. So like if you have like if oil prices go up, then food prices go up, then everything goes up, and inflation hits because we give away a bunch of free money and don't like, and then now people are used to not working and not doing anything and getting this money, and then the money's disappearing, but they're like, I still don't want to go back to work, like. And inflation's going up. So
I think everything that you're describing indicates that it's going to be gnarlier when the shit hits the fan this next time.
It's a worldwide phenomenon on this one. The one before was based on bad credit, which was given to people that didn't have the right.
Mortgages.
Yeah, it was like stated income loans made it so that people could just buy a house.
I bought a house with a 520 credit score
and
time.
Stated income, and you
On
just
a credit
probably
card.
said, yeah,
On a credit card. The guy's like, do you have any credit lines? And I was like, no. He's like, can you go to like Men's Warehouse and buy some socks on credit, and then I can like get you a line? I'm like, yeah. I did that. He's like, cool, got you the loan.
Yeah.
7% interest only.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And you got any weed?
He was like chewing in my ear on the phone.
You want to buy
like,
a car
he had
too?
mouthful
I got a
of
car
food,
for sale.
dude. Yeah, that was a different time.
Yeah.
You don't think it's going to be the same thing? Like, what do you think is going to crash first if it hasn't already?
I think that because
Auto
interest
loans are
rates,
gnarly,
auto
right?
loans, auto prices are up higher than they've ever been in the history of new cars. New cars
Because of
themselves.
supply chain.
And inflation. Like everything's more like. Contractors, if you hired a contractor that was $65 an hour 3 years ago, he's $125 now. And the materials that they're using, like the wood and metal and everything, that's tripled. So that means that home prices go up because it costs more.
Right.
But
and
then
we were up in Portland, Oregon, on Seaside, Oregon, and you were like
He doesn't like talking about it.
on the Oregon coast.
you were like with your own bare hands, like fucking you're like a contractor too.
Yeah, I do most of my own construction on my own properties with licensed contractors and stuff when needed, but for the most part, like I've learned how to do most of my own contracting.
And what you did with your main house in Portland was unbelievable.
Yeah, I did landscaping,
that deck,
everything, the deck. It's a lot of work, and that's the thing. Like I always think back to when people like from Goonies. Remember Chunk? And everyone's like,
sure.
Like, what happened to
He's
Chunk?
He's an entertainment lawyer.
He's an entertainment lawyer. He's killing it more than he would have probably had he stayed in the Hollywood business in the sense of acting. And people think he died. You're like, oh, that guy died. He had to because he was killing it, and then he disappeared. But you disappeared from Hollywood and the entertainment industry doesn't mean you died. You can have a life, and there's like normal people like doing real lives that have been in movies before. And
how many people are you a landlord to?
I have a couple of vacation rental houses, so those constantly are being.
That's not so bad. Like I think of landlord, and I'm like, fuck, man. I would never be able to like.
I don't want to
evict somebody. I couldn't do it.
Here's
dude.
one thing I've always bought my real estate on, based the premise of, and that is, would I want to live here? So if the market tanked, I lost everything. If this was a place that I had to live and could afford it, would I want to live here? And if I say no, then why would I want to buy it? You can buy it to make money, and some people approach the real estate game as just monopoly. Let's make money. But I do it in a different way, where I really have a connection to Oregon. I'm from there, 4th generation. Like, I love it so much. I want to be able to invest as much into the place I love most. And I've had opportunities to buy other places and make money, but I just didn't because I didn't want to live there if I had to. So I just buy places where if I need to live there or move there or want to like own it for the rest of my life and pass it down to my daughter or something, I think it's, that's the way I buy stuff. I do it ultimately in the end. I don't want to lose money, but I'm doing it more for multiple reasons. There's tax implications, all these things. There's so many good benefits to owning real estate. It is tough because when you're doing real estate in the moment, like a toilet's broken, you got to fix it. Like with the stock market, when it goes down, you just don't look at it. You just avoid it. When it comes back up, you're like, yeah, I'm winning. And then when you're losing, but when a toilet breaks, you can't be like, I'm just gonna ignore it, because then there's shit flying all over the place, and then that causes your floors to rot, and then next thing you know, your foundation's broken. And it's like, so real estate is a constant hands-on game.
Right.
And that takes a lot of time, and it takes away from the time that would be spent doing more entertaining and whatnot. But that's why I'm stoked to be out here for a week, because it's
it's
fun to get out and challenge myself. Like I was literally like, I don't know.
I think you guys were doing like 5 of you with like Pontius and Preston and Dave and you and Wee Man. Like you had like a couple tours.
Yeah, we did a Canada tour.
Right now would be the best time for you guys to do that again. Like I got all you guys coming out with me, like working on your acts.
Yeah, Dave came out with you. I think I talked to Wee Man. He said he's gonna try to come out with you this fall.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Preston.
I mean, you guys each have like 15 minutes at least. Yeah. Like there's an hour and 20 minute show.
And dude, like at the end of my shows, I say, hey, now that the show's over, if I can get everyone to pull out your phone and take a photo, so that they've got something to post.
Yeah.
And like when I've got one of you guys, it's just really rad, like to see the feedback. Man, we went to the Steve-O show. It was great, and fucking Danger was a surprise guest. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean that must be rad for you too. Like I'm here for a week. Dave was here for a week.
Yeah.
Preston's here for a week.
Preston was with us for a long time. Preston started out as our driver.
Yeah, dude, he told me he was driving.
Was that a fucking
all
disaster.
Night, and then do a set.
The first 30 seconds of him driving, he broke the trailer.
Preston is a wild man, and he drives like a wild man. What can I say? But we loved having him on the bus every day. And you know what I do on the tour bus every day? I start by getting hydrated with a pint of water, and I pour into it a serving of Athletic Greens. This is the most comprehensive, convenient, and delicious daily nutrition supplement that you can get. It's absolutely tasty. I look forward to it every morning, and it fills in all of the gaps in my diet. It helps me with my gut health. It helps me with my cognitive ability because it's good for my brain. And why? It's because it's loaded with 75 different vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens. It's like the healthiest stuff out there, and I love it. I love it every day, and you're going to love it too, I'm sure, because it's just so good for you and it's so delicious. And if you go to athleticgreens.com/Stevo, then you're going to get an entire year's supply of immune-supporting vitamin D. You're going to get 5 of these daily AG1 packets, which is your comprehensive, convenient nutrition for the whole day. And you're going to get that free with your first order if you go to athleticgreens.com/Stevo. You'd be crazy not to, because I've got a feeling you could be a lot healthier, and I'm a lot healthier because of it. So get over to athleticgreens.com/Stevo, jump on this deal, and let's get back to it.
Coming out of a dip.
No. You've the first 30 seconds, like, that was when we were actually getting on the road to go to tour. Like, we tried to bring the fucking bus to go to a shop to get the dude fucking, he's doing errors. It's like he's trying to fucking jump the thing.
Really?
He's like, dude, he's trying to turn it like it's a Mazda
like a semi-truck, because he's a semi-truck driver. So
it's rad. I love having you guys come out.
Yeah.
Now, I remember when we were doing shows together, like, because I kind of started that thing. When you would be performing, you would say about how you had stopped drinking.
Yeah.
And you would drink O'Doul's all the time.
Yeah. So I haven't drank alcohol. I started drinking wine again about 2 years ago.
That's alcohol.
It is. Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's grape. It's grapes,
sober.
dude. It's grapes. You're wrong. It's grapes.
It's
fermented
California
grapes.
sober.
It's fermented grapes.
Colombian
That's not alcohol.
sober. I only do Coke.
Yeah. Colombia sober.
Colombian sober.
No, I drink wine, but I haven't drank.
What's
Napa Valley sober.
I'm Sonoma sober.
Paso Robles.
What's crystal meth maintenance?
Yeah,
fucking New Mexico sober.
Riverside sober.
Oh man, you can come up with these all day long. No, but I haven't drank beer in 9 years or 8 years. I haven't had any like whiskey or any grain alcohol.
What was it that made you stop drinking in the first place?
So I stopped drinking altogether, everything, for 6 years.
Because you had an issue with alcohol?
Well, here's the thing: is doing like what we've done for so long. Like we got paid to party. We drank every day. It was a part of what we did. And then I got to the point where when I stopped, I actually just basically had a like I would say like some sort of like mental breakdown where I lost my mind. Like I think something snapped.
I think I remember, and you were telling me I have a problem with alcohol.
Well, it wasn't a problem with alcohol. It was I was what you could consider a functioning alcoholic. I'd be on tour with bands, you know, shooting photos and doing my thing, and I could I could have like five to 10 Jack and Cokes every night. 10 Jack and Cokes every night. Whatever, no big deal. And I would perform. I could do my stuff. But every day I woke up and I'd had this like just dehydrated feeling, and my body was, you know, all
the voices in your head were cranked up.
I got to the point where it was Groundhog's Day, and I felt no hope for no way out. And I literally lost it, where I took myself to the emergency room and I said, because I something in my brain kind of just like had enough, and I went like a little psychosis, and then you know, they wanted to help me there and put me in a place where they're like a sane asylum, I guess it would be considered. And I said, no, I'm going to take care of this myself. And that day, I stopped drinking. I stopped drinking it altogether. I hadn't drank since that time for 6 years. And it was to the point at which I really don't think I could have survived if I didn't, because I was so depressed, because I just felt so hopeless, so no way out. Today, you know, when you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm so hungover, I'm never drinking again, and then that night you're drinking again, and then I'm so hungover. And when you get in that cycle with whatever it is you're doing, and there's just that idea of nothing's gonna change and there's no hope, you literally, like, I snapped, I lost it, and that is what cured me, is that I realized that the only person that will do this, the only person that can fix this is me. Like, and there's people that can help along the way for sure. I believe that, but it comes down to you. You're with yourself 24/7. You know what you dream. You know what your visions are, your goals. You know when you're doing wrong. And if every morning you wake up thinking, I did it again, it just doesn't give you a chance to have a good day.
I mean, I think that the definition of alcoholism is when you are genuinely powerless to stop. And you know, it sounds like you were a problem drinker, and you found a real reason to stop or moderate, and you were able to do so, and that's great.
Yeah.
Like there's like a level of alcoholism where no amount of willpower can ever help you.
But the thing that's so weird is that I wasn't a problem drinker, and that's I think the worst alcoholic or person who drinks alcohol or does any kind of drugs or anything, the substances, are those that can function with it for no problem.
Oh my God, absolutely.
High bottom drunk.
No,
I mean, here's the thing.
It just will never stop.
I was the luckiest.
Because you were just a dirtbag.
because for me, it was so goddamn bad that it had to stop. And because it had to stop, I surrendered to the process of recovery and got better.
Yeah.
And when you surrender to the process of recovery, like when you treat alcoholism, you somehow become a better version of yourself than you were before you suffered from it.
Yeah.
And the worst situation is when you have alcoholism/addiction, but not so bad, because if it's not so bad, it doesn't absolutely have to stop.
Yeah.
And it never does stop. And the years slip through your fingers.
You're 80 and you're dead.
The years turn into decades slipping through your fingers, and then you turn around and you're like, what the fuck did I do with my life? I blew it.
Yeah.
Have you ever done so many psychedelics you thought you never coming back?
I can tell you, bro, it took you years to come back.
Yeah, okay.
You weren't you now who you are or before for 4 years, dude. Probably after when you finally went to sober living and rehab, and I mean, dude, how many times do you remember going to India and we're sitting next to each other on the plane, and I was telling you this, I'm like, bro, you're a good dude. Like you have so much. You're blowing it. You don't even know your name right now, and you're fuck yeah, man. But then when you got to that point at which you got the help and you went through the process, you still for like 3 or 4 years were still kind of like this in between guy. It was like
check this out. When I was in treatment I was like rehabs and psych wards for 6 months.
Okay.
And when I got at the end of that 6 months, I moved into a sober living.
Yeah.
Right. So once I got out of the 6 months and into the sober living, then I was sort of free to go around. And I went and spoke at the Salvation Army, where all these people, the most low bottom, like alcoholics and addicts, are in rehab, which is free, and it's just like the most like kind of dingiest place where you can get better. It's just the low bottom people, and I'm there like carrying the message, telling my story of recovery, 6 months sober, and I thought it was fine. And then 3 months later, now I'm 9 months sober. I go back, and some of the guys are still there. They're like, dude, Steve-O, man, we were here when you were here. Like, we were worried about you.
Yeah, they were worried about you.
You're sober, talking.
Dude, if you could have seen yourself, bro, I'm
dude,
telling you, for quite some time,
Yeah.
you were lower than those dudes that you're
Yeah.
saying are low. Like,
sure.
like you were, like
What? Do you have an
had
example?
money, just not even human. Like I
Yeah,
don't
just
even
like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, Steve, what was the first thing you bought with like your money? He's like, oh, dude, like a refrigerator full of vodka and Budweiser.
It wasn't the first thing, but
I bought a house and you bought a fridge with Budweiser.
But it was actually pretty shortly before I got sober. One of the last things I bought was a fucking huge, full, tall-size fridge that had the left side was like freezer from top to bottom, one door. There's equal space for the freezer.
So you had
as there
vodka
was.
and beer.
So the freezer was full. You couldn't fit another bottle of vodka into it from top to bottom. And then the right side was the fridge. You couldn't fit another.
Was that in the
Budweiser
apartment,
in it.
the skate apartment?
That was in. Fuck,
Fountain, was it?
That was in my office apartment. I had the skate park apartment, the office
Yeah.
apartment,
But it was in
the
that
bachelor
building.
pad,
Yeah.
and the assistant apartment.
What was
Man.
your vodka of choice when you drank like that?
Shit, I think it was Grey Goose in there, the whole thing.
So Grey Goose and Budweiser.
Grey Goose and Budweiser, yeah.
Wow.
It's fucking dude.
I mean, see, but that you can recognize as a problem, like, and that's like
Right.
when you hit rock bottom, or multiple times hit rock bottom. It's like everyone around you now is like saying you have a problem, but when you're just floating through and everyone's like, "Oh, he's cool,
Right.
yeah, he's
Well,
cool."
like right now,
It's-
being sober, if you do something wrong, like you're bummed about it, you make
Oh,
it right
yeah,
later. But
super
like
bummed.
when you were fucked up, was there any of that like feeling bad, like fuck, I got to make it right with this person,
Dude,
or was it
he
just
didn't
like
feel bad for anything? If anything, he felt better feeling bad. Like he would make people feel like shit and love it.
I don't know that I would love it. I don't know.
Oh,
that
you
I
were
would
pretty
love it.
stoked every time you did something fucked up. Like
I think it was just
you
the
were
mask that he
yeah,
wore
I
that-
did. Like
I definitely became capable of being pretty mean-spirited.
yeah.
And trying to hurt people's feelings and like harm their reputations. Like I did some fucked up shit, and ultimately that's what got me sober more than anything, was because I became so fucking ashamed of all that shit that I had done. I just like never wanted to be that person
Yeah.
again, and so that like motivated me to really dive into everything that people do.
But like what we're talking about right now, and you asked me like how did I stop drinking when I
Yeah.
stopped, and yeah, I drink wine now, but I'm responsible and whatever.
Portland
else. But-
sober?
Yeah, I'm Portland sober or Sonoma sober.
Can we get a shirt made that says Portland sober?
Yeah, with
Anybody
just a
out there?
wine glass. Cheers. But the thing is like every person, I don't care how down you are, how fucked up you are, you have that opportunity to make a choice. Every day, today, tomorrow, you do. Life's not over. You have that choice, dude. And if you start today, listen, you know it's real. If you start today and live for the future and just don't live for what you didn't do in the past or what you've been doing, and you just start over. Like today is my new life. I think it's possible that everybody can get better and clean up like whatever their problems they have.
yeah, I mean, like it doesn't really translate to alcoholism and drug addiction, because we've had millions upon millions of people come before us and show that like really there's only one way to treat that, and it's you can't do it alone. You got to do it as a collective, as a group.
But I stopped drinking cold turkey. I stopped drinking.
But then that just means that you are like, you know.
Not really. I think we all have that ability. I really do.
Well, everybody has an ability to turn their life around, and I think as fucked up as you are, that's the exact opposite is true of how fucking rad you can get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
sure.
usually the people that are the worst
Become the coolest.
So when you're drinking your O'Douls,
Yeah.
like back in the day,
Oh, yeah.
every time I saw you get on stage like years ago,
Yeah.
you would carve the glass bottle with the diamond in your tooth.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
It just puts a scratch in the bottle.
I mean, I can cut through a fucking wall of glass, dude. Like, I can actually cut through glass.
'Cause your
with
tooth is diamond?
It's got a black diamond in it, yeah. It's platinum. This is the tooth that I pulled out with Bam's Lamborghini. It broke my face to my eyeball. Took 6 months to heal, 9 months to heal. It would have kept going all the way up to my skull, but luckily my eye socket was there to stop it. So I put a black diamond in, and then my whole thought was that in case I ever get stuck in a glass cube somewhere, like you guys put me in something, I don't know, whatever. It's a tool. I can cut through glass. So yeah, I show everyone I can cut glass now.
How much is that tooth worth?
This is my rock bottom, dude. When I hit rock bottom, I'm coming. I'm gonna hawk this thing, and I'm coming back, baby.
What is it? It's an over $10,000 tooth.
No, I mean, but with all the
Inflation.
Yeah, with inflation, it's probably about 10.
Wow.
Is it in there with the dental implant?
Yeah, because it ripped my root all the way out and cracked my face, so they had to take somebody else's bone.
Yeah, bone graft.
And bone graft it, and then put a post in there, and then put that, so it's attached into my face.
Is bone graft not the worst fucking surgery? Like,
the worst surgery is root canal. Like, ever had a root canal?
I've had tons of root canals.
I felt like that because root canals usually are infected by the time you get it, and then it's just like brutal.
Right.
But the bone graft did suck, and then you have to be very careful forever. You can't do anything crazy in your mouth, but.
So we talked about how you have had like 27 different surgeries.
Yeah.
What's your physical like state like right now? Like getting out of bed in the morning, like
for quite some time now, it's been very difficult to get out of bed. I've been working really hard with this chiropractor and a couple of different people in Oregon, up in Portland, and also myself just getting to the gym or laying on some rollers.
Do you stretch?
I do stretch. I want to stretch more. I don't think you can ever overstretch. But stretching, like with injuries, you get scar tissue, and the scar tissue just basically makes it so your muscles can't work, and so you got to get all that inflammation out. And so I've been working really hard. But yeah, no, I mean, 11 knee surgeries, 3 broken necks. I mean, it's fucking real, dude. Arthritis and all of these things when you get older, and
I just had a birthday, and Lux got me a massage at like just some massage envy place.
Yeah.
And this dude was doing my massage, and he's like, man, like your muscles. He's like, we're gonna need to not even bother with the massage right now, and I'm just gonna help you stretch.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I just have I just need to stretch is really what it is.
What about your neck though? You went and did.
Yeah, I did the stem cell.
Did that work?
Thing.
Stem cell? I mean, does it? Like I'm looking at doing it down in
Colombia.
Maybe down in Mexico at this place, a stem cell thing. I mean, I don't know, but I've heard mixed reviews.
I always say, man, like, 'cause people ask me so much that what I was doing was largely preemptive. I wasn't in like real pain. I don't have like range of motion problems.
Yeah.
Like I just have this degenerative disc disease, which poses a threat to me in the future. And so I was kind of preemptive. So I'm not a good like.
Yeah, like what did Danny say?
Danny Way fucking swears by it.
Cool.
Fucking Chuck Liddell. The guys who are in the worst shape, are raving about.
That's the thing. Is like I'm so far. I like when I do things that help me. The person that's doing those things, like I'm a good gauge to be able to say, like, if it helps me, it'll help anybody.
I mean, dude, the place down in Colombia loves having people there who can draw attention to what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you're a prime candidate.
Yeah, I'll have to get a hold of them. Maybe go down to Colombia for multiple reasons, huh?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I've never done coke in my life. Never once.
Right.
Really?
I've never even tried it. Not even one time in my life.
Man, did I ever offer it to you?
All the time. You wanted to snort coke off my butthole, I think, at one point.
Why didn't you ever accept it?
I just don't do coke.
I
If he would have said I'll smoke, no, I'm kidding. But I did smoke weed out of his ass.
I would, yeah. I wouldn't have. Like I've always been pretty good. Like I wouldn't, if someone doesn't smoke cigarettes, I wouldn't give them their first cigarette. Like I still, like I won't give anyone their first tattoo.
Yeah.
No way I would have wanted to give you your first line of coke.
No, I mean those were different times, man. I swear to God. Like we were all, everyone back then. God, it's hot.
Yeah,
we were all just wild. Like you know.
Yeah.
Now, like we've got younger the new crew of Jackass and
yeah, dude, this is gnarly.
They cannot do what we did back then because what we did back then was us doing it. Now times are different, and you can't really. You can come in with us and hang out with us, but let's not try to recreate what the things that we used to do because those things aren't doable anymore.
Right.
Like,
well, especially because like here we cut Bam loose because he was like still doing what we used to do.
Yeah.
And now, like, you can't bring in new guys to do that.
No. I mean, in the end, let's be real. Like, this is a business, and we have characters in which we play.
Sure.
But outside of what we do on Jackass, it doesn't have to be like 24/7, 365. We're not. I'm not a jackass.
Yeah. It used to be like that though. And dude, is there anything scarier than the idea of being famous and broke?
No, like literally, probably the scariest thing.
It's gnarly.
Is to be and the only thing gnarlier than to be famous and broke is to be famous for a bad reason. And broke, because then people hate you, and you can't get away from anybody because you're broke. So you're just basically out there, and everyone assumes the minute you become famous or on television that you're rich. I'm like, that's not real. Like what's real is like bills have to be paid, and just because you were on TV or a show or a movie or something doesn't mean that you're rich. And
I think there are a lot of people who are famous and broke. Like it would like shock you.
Yeah,
but
like, how could that person not be fucking killing it?
And it's just so weird because like with having the new guys on Jackass and the new girl, like you cannot fault Jackass for not giving them like tons of money, because the reality is people would line up around the entire fucking world to be in a Jackass movie for free. Like it's like you're handing them a humongous opportunity by inviting them to be a part of Jackass, and you really don't have to pay them a ton of money to do it. But on the flip side of that, when we get these new people in the Jackass movie, we've essentially put them on this huge platform, made them into legitimate celebrities, and now they're in this terrifying fucking position where they really are not financially secure.
But we weren't either.
Right.
Like we were.
Right. That's 100% true.
We didn't get paid that great. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But we did what we did, and you look back now, like like you said, like. Ehren, you have all this real estate. I'm like, well, I bought with the money I made on the first Jackass movie, which was like $65,000 or something.
And you got a loan.
I got a loan right
so
there.
You didn't buy it with Jackass money.
No.
Dude, you don't feel bad one bit. It's like, dude, you can make.
Dude, you could become a millionaire off of $10,000. Like you can do anything. Mm-hmm. It's not money that's gonna get you there. Like be creative. Like it does help to have money, obviously, and people might say, well, you had an opportunity, and like plenty of people have opportunities and still blow it, and plenty of people don't have opportunity and make it. So
I remember when we were filming the TV show, there was like I was so
$400 a skit.
Dude, I got $400. I got $200 if it was a prank or like a gag, and $500 if it was like fucking life and limb.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, and then sometimes at the first season, it was that if it didn't air, you didn't get paid. And then after that, it changed. We all got paid.
Yeah, after that second season, it was per episode.
Yeah.
But dude, when we were filming that first season, I was so fucking broke, dead broke, because all my money, whenever I got money, I owed it to the cocaine dealer.
Oh god!
And so like,
wait, you had credit with the cocaine dealer?
Yeah, dude. I had credit, and whenever I got paid, I had to fucking buy the coke I already fucking did. But we're filming this. So we're going to like some bullshit fast food place to eat, or
Yeah.
you know. And I'm like, hey, you know, like, can you guys fucking, you know, get me like a fucking Happy Meal or something?
Yes.
You know? And they said to me, like, you didn't get any footage today.
Oh my God.
You didn't get any footage today.
Yeah,
Like,
so you're not working.
I mean,
so
dude.
They'll get you soda water.
No, I mean, dude, we will not feed you because you didn't get any footage today.
was this last week?
They're like, dude, maybe that'll motivate you to step up and
Yeah.
fucking get some fucking footage tomorrow.
It's a rough
Yeah.
business, dude.
It's
like
gnarly, and dude,
Hollywood, or like this is a
You
rough business.
You make such a valid point because we got paid nothing.
Yeah.
And we were fucking big stars.
Yeah,
dude,
instantly, just poof.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anybody that's making like a big chunk of change, especially all at once, you have the opportunity to invest it or do
Right,
something to then
sure.
further that money to and if you make a choice that you think is a good choice and it turns out being wrong, well, at least you thought it was a good idea,
Sure.
like legit, you thought it through, and it's like, you know, just sometimes Bitcoin goes down to $20,000.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. Okay.
I told Danger, I was like, man, I was just buying gold at $19.20 an ounce, and now it's like $17.04. And Danger goes, well, at least you didn't buy Bitcoin at 60,000. But dude, let me tell you this crazy story.
Yeah.
I had Poopies on the podcast.
Yeah.
And it was just like completely candid. He says, like, my bank account is a negative number.
Okay.
You know, I'm like beyond broke. Like, you know, and we had much the similar conversation. And it was uncontroversial. But then my buddy Bert Kreischer,
Yeah.
huge comedian, he's
Yeah.
got this huge podcast.
I want to go on his show. He said he was talking about me,
Dude.
saying some stuff about the cup test and
Love
how
it.
like,
Dad,
he loved it.
I can set you up with
I'd love to say, Bert, if you're out there,
Dude, I got you.
Steve-O's got me. All right,
Yeah,
all
I
right.
got you. So I'm buddies with Bert Kreischer, and he and Tom Segura, another huge comedian, they
Yeah.
do this podcast together, Two Bears in One Cave.
Yep.
They just cold called me because they were raving about how much they loved the Jackass movie and the new guys.
Yeah, I listened to that one.
So they cold call me. I'm like, you know, like not just caught off guard. I'm like, oh yeah, and they're like, we love the new guys, and I was like, yeah, dude, who doesn't love the new guys? And get this, I just had Poopies on my podcast. He says he's completely fucking broke, can't even put gas in his car, you know. And it was just like whatever, you know, like I wasn't saying it in any kind of you know, disparaging way or like trying to shame anybody. It's just like crazy because here he's this fucking movie star now. You
But
know?
that's the reality of Hollywood. Like I was
Right.
saying, it's like just
Right.
because you made it on a show or something
Right.
doesn't
I
mean
didn't
you're
think
rich.
anything of it. I didn't think anything of it. Then when that podcast came out, well, one of our buddies, and I won't like name him to, you know, to give him any grief, but I got this text from one of our buddies, not a cast member, but someone in our world, says, what are you doing going on this big podcast and airing out people's financial things? He's like, well, it's just fucking tacky, and it's like, and I was, he's like, he says, we're at the point, you know, in our lives and our careers where we're supposed to be bringing people up, not pushing them down. And I was like, bro,
But you're not making fun of his
I wasn't making
situation.
fun
You're
of his
trying to like
situation at all.
help him along, right?
Exactly.
But
And
I mean, it is kind of like
my response was, dude, what I was like, I wasn't doing that at all. I wasn't trying to push anybody down. If anything, I was trying to like, you know, get his story there, you know, humanize him, help him, you know, like
Humanize him. Yeah.
galvanize people in support of him, you know, and it was so crazy because then I hear from this guy, Steve will do, or no, I hear from Poopies himself. He goes, dude, Steve will do it reached out to me. This is so crazy. And I hit up Steve will do it saying, man, you hit up Poopies, dude, that was so cool. And Steve will do it says to me, dude, I heard you on Two Bears, One Cave, man, and like couldn't believe it. Poopies and couldn't put gas in his car. He's like, I just want to do anything I can to help him. So fucking that is why Poopies was just water skiing behind a goddamn helicopter with Steve will do
I
it,
saw
who's like
that.
the biggest guy on fucking YouTube.
You know, I love knocking on the industry and saying you suck or
Right,
help,
no, dude,
or like
but you
let's be
can't fault
real.
them. You can't fault
But
them. You
there is
can't.
multiple. There's a lot of us,
Sure.
you know, and there's like, you know, in the day there's 10 of us or whatever, and we're all the stars. Like, and
Sure.
so with Jackass, it's hard, but it's that way with the whole industry. It's like, how can I use you the most?
With the whole dude, all the world's a business. Everybody's trying to fucking get over on everybody else.
But not really. There's other industries that people take care of each other and respect each other and love being able to see that other person succeed. Whereas in this industry, it feels like unless you're succeeding yourself, then it doesn't mean anything to you because everyone's very vain. Like everyone wants to be the number one in this industry.
For sure.
And so it's very hard to have like trust and care, like to trust other people and what they say. And you'll just do whatever like in that moment. Like it's like, look at us. We were doing it for $400 because we were on MTV and $400 was $400.
Right.
But looking back now, like we should have got paid a hell of a lot more. They syndicated that stuff day one. Like they've made hundreds of millions off of the TV show. Still cranking. Just try to, think about life as a long game. Like don't think of life being tonight's ripping party. Just remember, try and get a plan. Come put it together, be a good person. It'll all work out in the end.
Dude.
And if it doesn't work out the way you wanted it to or the way you dreamed it, just find new dreams, find new goals, and never give up and keep going, Dude,
the fucking wiser words were never spoken, man.
Tight.
Fucking love you, dog.
Now let's go do some comedy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. So there you have it. And I want to address this change in title format. For the longest time, we've been the number of the episode, the name of the guest. Boom. Just like that. But we noticed all these other podcasts giving the episode a title. And we said, screw it. Let's give it a shot. And when we were saying, what are we going to call the Danger Ehren second episode? The gorgeous Paul Brisky suggested, what about Danger Ehren Has No Pity for the new Jack? Now that is a catchy, salacious title. And clearly, that's what he said. He said, hey man, we were in the same spot, big whoop, right? So let's just be clear. It's not like anybody wants to be pitied. Fuck pity, right? And Danger Ehren and I both have a lot of love, right? We may not have pity, we got a lot of love. Yeah, dude. Thanks for sticking around.